So today we're going to deal with advanced DSO. See, previously we had different set of info providers like Info Cube or DSO or Right Optimized DSO. Yeah. So when you wanted to have some transaction data loaded with aggregated in nature, addition in nature, we used to use Cube. When you want to work out with override functionality, we go with standard DSO. When you just want to use it for staging, you go with Right Optimized. Yeah. So what SAP has done is, instead of going based on the behavior required, you choose a different set of info providers. Instead of doing that, they wanted to have one info provider which can behave with any of these properties based on the settings what you do. For example, when I create an advanced DS with certain settings, it behaves like a queue. When I create an advanced DSO with certain settings, it acts like a standard DSO. When I create an advanced DSO with certain settings, it acts like a right augment DSO. That is what the main idea about advanced DSO. So the target is they don't want to confuse with cube or DSO or what it is. So it will be all, when you want to hold the data physically in BW system, it will be advanced DSO. And based on the behavior what you require, you will be enabling properties. So you want advanced DSO like cube, or you want advanced DSO like standard DSO, or you want advanced DSO like right-arm DSO, depending on the requirement, you can enable your settings. Okay. And max number of key fields for this advanced DSO is going to be 120. Okay. Advanced DSO. This is an info provider, and a data target. When I say info provider data target, we can do reporting on this advanced DSO, and we can even load the data physically into advanced DSO. It will have data persistency. So when I say data persistency, it does hold data physically in it. And it supports field-based modeling. When I say field-based modeling, we don't need to have info objects to create advanced DSO. I can use the fields definition from the metadata of the data source or whatever it is, and use it to create the advanced DSO. Or I can even create a combination. I can use some fields, some info objects. Anyway, we can do that. And advanced DSO can act like info cube or classic DSO or right optimized DSO or anything you want. Okay. Depending on the settings what you do. And max key fields is 120 for this. In a normal DSO, max key fields is 16. For this, max key fields will be 120. Similar to your classic DSO, when I create an advanced DSO, it creates 3 tables. One is active, new, change log. It creates 3 tables. But only thing is the naming convention of these 3 tables will be different. Here it will be /BIC/A ODS name. You will get 1, 2 or 3. You don't get 00, 40 and something. You'll get as 1, 2 and 3. And it also creates 2 database views. If you think logically, this is very simple. It also creates 2 database views. One is with 6 and one is with 7. 7 is considered to be the reporting view and 6 is considered to be the extraction view. What does it mean? Okay. Say for example, if you have an info cube, And when you want load data from this info cube to the next level target, from which table does it load? From the fact table. If it is standard DSO, you have to load it from the change log table if it is delta. If it is write out means the delta will load from the active table. So depending on the type of object, from where the data is loaded to the next level target will change, right? So what they have done, instead of changing that, they have built a view called 7 with 7 and the /b/a DSO name 7. So the view number will be common, but internally the definition of the view will keep changing depending on the type of object you create. Same way reporting. Say when you do reporting on standard DSO from the active table, if it is cube, it is from fact table. So for reporting also, they have defined one view called 6. Based on the type of object you create, internally the definition of this view, what tables are leveraged will change. Okay, that is what is about advanced DSO, how they are handling. So it will be one object which can satisfy any kind of info provider what you want. Okay. Okay. Let's say I have this data source ZDS underscore sales 004. So it has got certain fields. I would like to load this into a provider and then do reporting on it. Not virtual, I would like to physically load into BW and then loading. Generally what you do, say for example, I've got this 10 fields. You go about formulating 10 info objects. And using those 10 info objects, you either create a cube or DSO depending on the requirement and then start loading in and then do reporting, right? Now look at this. Similar way to the cube, I would like to use advanced DSO like cube and then do reporting. See, how do I do this? I have not created any info objects. So advanced DSO has to go with, it is from given from 7.4 SP8. It can be created from the BW modeling tools of HANA Studios, same like OpenODSView. So I have this BW project. If you want virtual, then OpenODSView. If you want physical, then it will be advanced DSO. Okay. So let's open up the project. Then I have this info area. See, I would like to create an advanced DSO like cube and then load this data from the data source. Create advanced DSO. Just give some name. ZAD cube. Okay. Now template, generally if you remember template, while creating cube, if you want, instead of giving all the fields or info objects, if you want to copy it from any of the object, I can use this template. I can use, see if you remember I was using some data source I would like to use this data source as template so that all the fields of this data source would come into my provider. Or I can use a DSO if you want info objects, or you can use some model. Yeah. Now if you remember my data source name, ZDS underscore sales. This is my data source, ZDS underscore sales, which I would like to use as a template so that it does copy all the fields of this instead of me typing in one by one. I use this. Okay, once you get this out, okay, now this is your name of the advanced DSO. This is the description, and then the checkbox called external HANA view. Similar to your cube, you have this property. When this is enabled, on the activation of this advanced DSO, it is going to create an HANA view automatically. Good. Now you see a lot of settings here, modeling properties here. You see a lot of properties here as modeling properties, whether you want to activate or compress, or you want to have change log, all this stuff here. So based on these settings, we're going to derive whether it has to create like a cube or DSO. For example, if I select this checkbox, activate or compress, it means when I select this, it says you'll have either ODS data activation or compression of data, or you want to have change log to be written. Let's say if you select this checkbox, then it will allow me, do you want to write the change log data? So then it becomes like a standard DSO. You want to support only unique record. Now when I say keep inbound and extract data from inbound, it means what? It tracks like a inbound is nothing but your new data table. So data, even after activation, the data will be still in the new table and then extract from there. Or if I say I want compression and I want to say all characteristics are key, then that becomes like a cube, because in the info cube, all your characteristics are a primary key. Reporting on union of both inbound and active, because when advanced DSO acts like cube, your inbound, which is like new table, will act like a F table. Your active table will act like a E table. So it has to bring basically combination union of both. This is extended tables when you want to create an extended storage. This is not relevant to any of the modeling property. So if you don't know about these checkboxes, what you can do is you can just click on this icon and you can choose a model template. What do you want? You want as a cube? Okay. So it does enable the checkboxes as per the cube. You want it like what? Say you want it like right outwards DSO, then no checkbox enabled, then that becomes like a right outwards DSO. So I want it like say standard DSO, then it enables the activation with the change log. You'll have lots of options to select. Say reporting. Look at this. Reporting on union of active and new, then that becomes like a cube, right? See, with cube settings. Say if I go with this one, what do you understand this? Like reporting on active date table only. So I have a DSO where I would like to do reporting only in the active table. So in that case, it need not write change log table, right? Only active is enough. So it does do activation of data, but does not write anything in change log, because when I'm using change log table is required when you want loading it to the next level data mart. But when I'm using the DSO only for reporting, I don't need to write change log. That's how it does do the settings. Let's say I want to go with data data propagation, which is like more of say like standard DSO where I'm trying to overwrite. Yeah. I want to go with corporate memory, which is like a write off with DSO. Yeah. Like this, you can do that settings and it does do that. For me, it should be like a cube. So I'm just selecting as cube. So it does do the settings as per the cube. Yeah. Now when I go to details, you get to see all the fields. Look at this. I never created this informatics using the metadata of the fields of my data source, which I use as a template. Yeah. Okay. I can just say I can just add a group, which is like a folder. I can say set this as measures or something. Or key figures, where I'll move this amount to this, and then we have quantity to this. So like cube, we can just create subfolders and then organize them as dimensions. I don't have to worry on this, and that's fine. And then I'm in the settings. You'll have this something called DDIC information, which will tell you what tables are going to be created. 1, 7, and 6. We'll see that. Just say activate. It says int is not valid for this. Okay. It says it is int 10. I'll change it to char 10. I don't know. even for year. And for keywords, it says it is keyword, right? You must specify the aggregation function, that is sum. For quantity, specify the aggregation function sum. Here is the reserved name, so let me just say, just giving me an error saying this year is actually reserved name, so I just take it as Z year. So done. This has been activated. What is my name of the DSO? Advanced ZADQ. So it should act like Q for me. So if I go to my HANA modeler, and if I go to my normal BW schema, or even if you can see that in S11 also, under SAP is my schema. If you go to this schema, I should find the tables relevant to this, right? I said it will create 3 tables, irrespective of what type of advanced DSO it is, it will always create those 3 tables. Whether it is users or not, depending on the type of object. See, /BAC/A ZADQ1, /BAC/A ZADQ2, /BAC/A ZADQ3. So if advanced DSO is like standard DSO, 1 is like new table, 2 is like active table, and 3 is like change log table. Okay. If advanced DSO is like cube, 3 is not used. It will not use 3 because for the cube you will not have change log. It will just use 1 and 2, and 1, the new table will be used as F table, and 2 table will be used as E table bus. So when you load in, data comes into in I1. When you compress in, data gets into 2 table. Okay, that's how it does use those tables. Suppose if it is right of a DSO, the table 1 itself, which is new table itself, will be used as an active main active table. It will load into that, no activation, nothing, and then the reporting is also done on the 1 only. Yeah. That's how it will be. Now if I said it also create my 2 views also, one for reporting, one for filtering. If you go to the views, you can see them definition. Normally your new table will have the request ID and all those, right? Request ID, data packet, record number. Yeah. Your 2 table will not have anything, no technical keys, just the characteristic keys and the key figures. And change log will have the activation. Yeah. It will have that, but the table is used or not depends on the requirement. Yeah. Now we have 7 and 6. 7 is reporting. If you just go in, now normally if it is cube now, right? Now we have created advanced DSO like cube. So now 1 is like F table and 2 is like U table. Now the reporting should be done on 1 or 2 or union of both. Union of 1 and 2, right? Now if I see my definition of this view 7, I go to create statement. If you just go in, see, this is reading data from table 1, cube 1, union all, from which table here? What is this here? Table 2. So what does it mean? I have a view 7 which is built on the union of both 1 and 2, which is projected for reporting. And the definition of the view is union of 1 and 2 because it is like cube. Suppose if it is like a standard DSO, you would have the view built only on the table 2 because for DSO, the reporting is done only on active table. That's how the view is dynamically changed based on the type of object. And the loading view, suppose 6 is for data mod. When you're loading data from this cube to the next level cube, from which table should it take? Even for extracting, it is using 1 compressed data as well as 2 also. Because normally when you do full upload, it has to extract even compressed data also. So it will have 1 and 2 both in the view. Let's say I want to load that. Let me go to Just to refresh, I'm saying also. So this is my advanced DSO ZAD like Q. Just right click on this. For a classical DSO, you'll see a small square here. For advanced DSO, you don't see any square. That is like advanced DSO. Now right click. And loading is pretty much same. Create transformations. And the source object is data source. This is flat file. Say OK. Since the name is different, I'm just let's say activate. You can write start routine, end routine, export, all those you can write it. Just create the DTP. Activate. And one important point is when you load data to the advanced DSO, it generates request number, right? Here the request number will be something like in the timestamp format. Okay? It does not generate anything like DTP or something. It generates record 0. I think there is no date. See, but look. I'll show you that once. So 49 is loaded, but if you look at this request number, it comes something like DTPR, and the request number goes with the timestamp. Based on that, it generates it. Now, once the cube data is loaded, I should see the cube, right? I should see the data in which table now? In table 1. First, let's see that manage, then I'll show you this. So right click on this advanced DSO, manage. There's one request with 0 and the next record is with 49 records. Okay. Look at this, the request number comes with the time stamping. Okay. Now let me go to, so now since we just loaded, you should see the data in table 1. With the request number, you see all those 49 records. But the table 2 does not have any data, right? When does data come into table 2? If it is cube, if I compress, data comes into cube 2. If it is DSO, after I activate, the data gets into 2. Now since this is like a cube, I will be able to compress also. How do I compress? Just select this request. And look at this, here activate means compression in case of a cube. In case of DSO, it is like normal activation process. Now when I activate or compress, nothing, what happens? The data will go from table 1 to 2 by deleting the requested information. That is what compression is, right? Now it's done. It's very fast. It's all taken care in the HANA procedure, so it's very fast. Now if I go in, I should see the data from 1 is removed and all the data has been pushed into 2, but we do not have request number. Yeah, it's all like DSO. But even in the compression also, once you compress, the data will be basically it deletes requested information and then puts them into 2. This is like cube bus. Yeah. Now same example, I would like to go with standard DSO. But if you want to see that behavior, if you load the same record again, it becomes double. So for example, the order number. For example, if you look at this order number, 100, it's 5,000 now, right? So let me just load it again. Since this is cube, it will be adding up here. Let me go and compress again. Select this and like compress. Immediately I say yes, it is all done. Green indicates it's done. Activation, okay. If I go to this and if I refresh, for document number I see it as 10,000. It has been doubled. Like this, it keeps aggregating that like similar to your compression. Now let me create an advanced DSO like standard DSO. New advanced DSO. ZAD classical DSO. Advanced DSO like. Again, I'm choosing the same fields. So I'm just leveraging the same fields metadata. And I want this to be created as an classical DSO. So it goes with compression and writing changelog data. So I would say key fields, and I would like to create one more folder as data fields. And except others, all that I'll move everything into. I'll say sales order number is my key fields, and what I want to make this as cap. Apart from specifying aggregation function for measures, I can also associate them with the reference field. I want this to be associated with currency. I want this to be associated with the unit. Yeah. So apart from this, just the fields, I can add my own field. I just want to add one more new field. I just want to say something like say ZIND is that some indicator. I want char 1. Or let's say I want to mix up some info object. I would like to add some info object, which you want. Let's say I want it as yes, customers. I would like to add this info object. So instead of this customer field, I would like to use this. Okay, so I just want to remove this. Like this, you can mix up info objects and fields also. Just activate. Key field IN. Okay. Not different key fields. Let us specify what is my keys. Just click on the keys, and my key field is sales order number. Just out because it is a DSO, I need to specify the key fields. Yeah? Okay, done. It's created. So it's created again. It will have the three tables: ZADC DSO. ZADC DSO. So now I got again one table to again. Let me just again I'll have two views and three tables. So now since it's like DSO, one is like new table, two is like active table, three is like a change log table, and 7 will be a reporting view. So now we'll see now 7 is created on 1 and 2. Normally when you do reporting on DSO, it takes from only active table, which is 2, or 1 and 2 bus, only 2, right? So when I look at the definition of the 7, which is a reporting view, it is built only on 2. Look at this, it's not union, it is just built only on 2. That's what shows it is reporting on only 2 bus. And 6 will be extraction view. Normally when you extract, from which table you take for initial load or full loads, it takes from 2 bus. Okay. Don't worry about delta change log, system will take care. So this is like advanced DSO, like classical DSO. Now let's go in, create transformations. For indicator, I just want to write some constant, something. Okay, then let's say okay. Then let me just create DTP. I know my data source has got now 49 plus 49, 98 records. Let it load. What is the problem? That is integers. Okay. It has loaded these records. Now, when these records are loaded, if I go to my HANA tables, you'll have all the records in table number 1 now. Table number 2, which is active table, will have no records because I have not yet activated. And still the changelog will not have no records because we have not yet activated even one request here. So let me go and that's it, activation is done. Once it is activated, I should see no records in table 1. All the records are moved to table 2, but you will just have only those 49 which has been overwritten. Even if you load double records, it just shows Python is overwriting, and you'll have entries in the change log as one. Let me sort based on this 1001 activation request, data packet, record number, and record mode. Okay. So like this, it does use it as a DSO. Okay. Same way I can have it as write off as DSO. So in case of write off DSO, you will not have any activation, right? I do not take any of the template. I just want none, create. I want it as right optimized. Then go to details. I'll add my own fields from here. I can just formulate. I want one field as zdoc_num something. Caret 10 is fine, and then I want another field as zamount. Okay, I want this as currency values. Sum. Add field. ZCORR. I want to make this as currency field, currency key. I'll set this link to that currency field for. So that's it, enough. Yeah. Okay, and check. Done. Activated was. Now once it is active again, it will have the 3 tables. Okay. Again, it will have active table, new table, change log, the views. But only thing is whether they are used or not, it depends, right? Now I told. Now for right optimized, you will have only active table. Now the table 1, which is new table itself, will act as an active table because it has got the technical keys. So 2 table and 3 table are not used and no activation for it. Let's see. So table 1, which is new table itself, will act as an active table for the right optimized DSO like change log, yeah, advanced DSO. I can use the same data source. Okay. If you go to manage, you will see that the activation is disabled for it. See, no activation because this is not an activation in the right optimized. And you will always have the data in the table number 1, which is actually the new table, but actually for right optimized it will be considered as the active table because it has got technical keys and the fields. So like this, your advanced DSO can act like a cube, right optimized or standard DSO, anything like, depending on the settings what you do. Yeah. And if you want to combine multiple providers, like say I want to combine one advanced DSO with other classical DSO cube, you have to go with composite provider, because I cannot use advanced DSO into multi-provider. When I want to combine this provider with other providers, we have to go with composite provider. Yeah. So this is advanced DSO goes. See, going forward, which situations I suggest for advanced DSO is like, see, going forward, they want to make it, if it is BW on HANA, see, you'll have this advanced DSO only if it is, we have HANA in the backend. So if it is BW on HANA, if you want to access data virtually, then it is OpenODS view. If you want to access the data physically with the data persistency, then it will be advanced DSO. When you want to combine multiple providers, it will be your composite provider. So if you are pushing data from this advanced DSO to another standard cube, the views will come to use automatically while load. Yes. It seems advanced structure differs with cube as no factor as one factor. See, in the old cube structure, you'll have F table and E table 2, right? Here you can understand that table 1 is like E table and table 2 is like, table 1 is like F table, table 2 is like E table. Before compression it will be in 1, after compression it will be in 2. Okay, boss. Now this is it. I'm going to stop this.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one question, sir. Sir, was there any special reason like they designed in old-fashioned cube style rather than one fact table with the partition and all that stuff?
Basically, they want to simulate as if it's like one object for any kind of settings. Say for DSO, you're having activation, right? For the same kind of activation, they want to simulate compression concept. So when that is happening, it is moving from one table to another table, right? So they want to go with 2 tables here. Yeah. Instead of having 2 objects, they wanted to have one object which acts similarly, but internal functionality should be different. So when I'm trying to have 2 tables from one table to one other table when it is overwriting, same thing I would like to go with additive functionality so they can reuse the same logic. That's where they have this concept of back. Yeah.
Right, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Next, any question? Then otherwise we'll stop.
Sir, this BW modeling tools we need to install or automatically it will come either?
To install HANA Studio, we have to install. I should remember in the beginning of this class, we have to install them. I told you help. We have to say install new software, and then you have to specify the path. If we already have the modeling tools, is okay. If not, you have to specify add. Then if you have some archive link or local, you should specify which folder you have those modeling tools and say install. Yeah.
It support all the service packs, right, sir?
Yeah.
It support all service packs. If you have HANA SP1 or
even for modeling,
it will support
different modeling tools also you'll have different versions.
Okay.
Okay, so depending on, suppose if you're HANA SP9, you'll have like 7.1 or 11, like you'll have different versions. Based on that, you put suitability.
Okay. Sir, in BW, in processing mode, we have an option you showed HANA execution. So what is the option?
In advanced DSO, everything is HANA execution. Every processing of advanced DSO is all pushed into HANA.
So in that case, in normal DTP, we can debug that one, right? Same day in HANA execution also, we can debug that one, or how it is?
We can debug.
Okay.
Because when you debug, it will not be in HANA execution, right? It will be normal debugging. Can we create flow for advanced DSO in HANA Studio? No. Okay. Chalo then. We'll stop it here.